Unacademy.
Now, how many papers are there? First, let's go into that. We have now almost all over the country 5 papers in judicial examinations. वो 5 क्वेश्चंस कौन से हैं? 5 पेपर कौन से हैं? 2 civil law papers, 1 criminal law paper, 1 English language, and 1 Hindi or vernacular language, whichever state you are appearing. Firstly, all the major subjects are common all over India. So, जो major subjects, CPC, CRPC, IPC, evidence, constitution, all are common. ये तो सब जगह आते हैं. In certain states, certain local laws are there. So if I go to suppose civil law 1, most of the states will have CPC, SRA, contract, partnership, SOGA, TPA, all in paper 1. Paper 2 is your family law mostly. Hindu law, Muslim law, evidence, limitation, etc. The third law is your criminal law paper, which means IPC, CRPC, evidence. And if there are any special local laws on offenses, then those are also there. Certain states have some different subjects, like some states have torts, some states have their local laws, some states have judgment writing, some states have arbitration, JJ Act, DV Act, Motor Vehicles Act, Registration Act, all these are there. So now the question arises, how do I prepare? We know कि इतने papers हैं हमारे पास. So अब strategy क्या होनी चाहिए? I believe that the strategy of going with one subject at a time, in my view, is not a very good strategy. You should be going paper-wise. Let me take 1 law from paper 1, 1 law from paper 2, and 1 law from paper 3. And let me do English every day. And let me do my Hindi or vernacular language every day. So that means I'm going to prepare my judiciary in all the 5 papers together simultaneously. Normally क्या होता है? Normally what happens? Students ने शुरू कर दिया. And you tend to start with those subjects which you like, which are easy, so to say. Mostly you will start with IPC. Now, when you start with IPC, you will maybe spend 3 months and then you will be left with little time for others. So, the strategy to go with one subject at a time may boomerang, may go wrong. So, उसका तरीका क्या होता है? आप सारे पेपर्स का एक-एक सब्जेक्ट इकट्ठा चलाओ. Now, when I say सारे subjects का एक-एक सब्जेक्ट इकट्ठा चलाओ, now which means that I must first start with the major laws. For example, 3 subjects हैं मेरे. I will start with CPC, Hindu law, and IPC. And now I will also try to cover 1 small local law. I will also start covering JJ Act or DV Act or Registration Act. So I hope you are clear on this. We must go with 4 laws, 3 major, 1 minor. ये शुरू करो और रोज उसको करना है. When we start preparing, sometimes what happens, if we have the time good enough, अगर हमने 2 साल पहले शुरू कर दिया, then तो we have a lot of cushion. But कई बार क्या होता है, हमारे पास time कम है. Suppose we have decided that we are appearing after 9 months. Now what happens is that if you have mismanaged your times on these papers, on these subjects, तो बाकी subjects के लिए time कम रह जाएगा. And then you will get, confused at the end कि मेरा तो कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, confusion आ गया, मेरे बहुत सारे subjects पढ़े हैं. So when you start preparing, suppose you are preparing 4 subjects in a day. I'm starting CPC. Fine. मैंने CPC को पूरा पहले divide कर लिया कि how many hours do I need? Suppose I have 158 sections and I have 51 orders. I'm going to divide my entire time. That okay, if I give 2 hours every day to CPC, I will need 3 months or I will need 4 months. Fine. So what I do is I open the index, and after opening the index, I make a chronology कि मुझे इतना टाइम यहाँ पे लगाना है. कई बार क्या होता है, हम एक चीज पे, एक टॉपिक पे 15 दिन लगा देते हैं. For example, I'll tell you, we may be spending 15 days on res judicata, whereas I should have finished it in maybe 5 days. So sometimes what happens, you stretch one topic too long, and by the time that time is over, then you are still on that topic, whereas you should have gone to the other topic. I hope I'm making myself clear. Another aspect, when you are preparing these 4 subjects, you must give equal times. So suppose you are first preparing CPC, then I go into IPC. And then when I go to IPC, then I will go to Hindu law. And finally, I will go to one small, maybe JJ Act, DV Act, या जो भी local law है मेरा. Now, how do I prepare? This is the next question. See, whenever you read any law, if you have not joined any academy, and I can vouch that probably Unacademy gives you the most detailed analysis of every subject. And that is why not because I am teaching on Unacademy that I am saying this. As an educator for last so many years, I now believe that when you join an academy, then you get an edge. Because whatever I have taught to my other students, they are already at an edge. They know more. So if you want to get an edge, I always advise that you must join an academy. You know, my comprehensive batch takes about 13 months, 12 to 13 months. Now, every day we are teaching you every word of every law. And approximately 30-35 laws are being taught to you. Naturally, जो चीज आपको खुद समझ नहीं आती या उतने डिटेल में, कितना डिटेल में जाना है, वो सारी चीजें आपको एकेडमी में फायदा होता है. But I do understand, not everybody can afford, ये भी मैं समझता हूं. And that is the reason why this YouTube channel will be very useful for all of you. This first lecture is basically a introductory sort of lecture कि हम इसको कैसे चलें. आने वाले lectures जो आएंगे, so many educators are going to come here. They are going to discuss in detail so many subjects. You know, बहुत सारे questions आते हैं mind में. जज बनने के बाद क्या होता है, जज की what are the duties of a judge, what are the responsibilities of a judge. So you know, कौन सी judicial examinations आ रहे हैं, we don't know. कौन से अनाउंस हो गए हैं, we don't know. नोटिफिकेशंस किसकी आ गई हैं, स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होनी चाहिए, अब टाइम आ गया है. All these things will be covered on this channel. So that is why I believe this is a wonderful step taken by Unacademy, because now you can get everything under one umbrella, so to say. Having said this, we were on the topic कि हम तैयारी कैसे करें. You know, whenever you start preparing, first you have to divide the entire law into topics. कोई टॉपिक्स ले लो. Let's take Indian Evidence Act. इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट की मैं टॉपिक्स को अगर मोटे मोटे डिवाइड करूं, पहला मेरा फर्स्ट पार्ट jurisdiction, section 1. Indian Evidence Act applies to judicial proceedings in or before a court. It applies to all court martials and does not apply to arbitration, does not apply to affidavits. नाउ यू नो व्हेन अब ये सेक्शन 1 हम सबने छोड़ दिया, बट पूरा क्वेश्चन आ गया, इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट अप्लाइज टू जुडिशियल प्रोसीडिंग्स इन और बिफोर अ कोर्ट क्रिटिकली एग्जामिन। अब इसके अंदर आपने कुछ पढ़ा ही नहीं। सो नाउ यू नो इफ आई हैव गॉन इनटू डिटेल्स, now I am going to go into all the details. What is a judicial proceeding? What is a court? How is a court different from a tribunal? So when I say judicial proceeding in or before a court, what meaning will it have? Okay. So what is the meaning of affidavits? Why it doesn't apply to affidavits? What are the exceptions? How is Order 19 of CPC an exception? It doesn't apply to arbitration. Why? How does the 1996 Arbitration and Reconciliation Act, how does it make it different? So you know, मेरे सेक्शन 1 इंट्रोडक्शन लेक्चर में हमने क्या किया, सारा इंटरलिंकिंग कर दिया। अब मेरा टॉपिक तैयार है, अब आप कुछ भी पूछो मेरे से, आप एफिडेविट्स पे पूछो, आप आर्बिट्रेशन पे पूछो, आप कोर्ट मार्शल्स पे पूछो। In other words, whenever I am studying about section 1, I've interlinked it with all the other possible laws jahan ho sakta hai, and now I have made a comprehensive question. Similarly, suppose I go to, again, let's take only Evidence Act. Suppose a question comes, the define evidence. Is the definition of evidence complete? Now you know. What will you write if you have not studied? Now the definition of evidence, if you have not studied well, how will you answer? Well, the definition is a very limited definition. It includes only oral evidence of witnesses, or it includes documentary or electronic evidence. It does not include real evidence. Suppose एक पेन है, एक चाकू है, वो क्या है? वो ना oral है ना documentary है. Now, एक critical examination, या for example एक oral evidence of witnesses बताया गया. What about oral evidences given by a accused? उसको क्या कहेंगे? Confession of an accused को क्या कहेंगे? So you know, एक word में हम कहां से कहां पहुंच जाते हैं. So I hope you are getting my point कि हमें details में कैसे जाना है. You know, everybody used to leave execution CPC earlier, and suddenly हरियाणा में प्रिसेप्ट पे क्वेश्चन आ गया. फॉर्चुनेटली हमने क्योंकि क्लास में एक एक वर्ड किया हुआ था, प्रिसेप्ट में मैंने जजमेंट भी दी हुई थी क्लास में. दैट इज व्हाई ऑलमोस्ट ऑल माय स्टूडेंट्स गॉट थ्रू सीपीसी, बिकॉज हमने डिटेल छोटी छोटी की हुई थी. सो प्लीज रिमेंबर वन थिंग, जब आप तैयारी करें, सो डोंट रश लाइक एलएलबी. एक एक सेक्शन पे बैठना है. एक एक सेक्शन पे अगर आपने एकेडमी ज्वाइन नहीं की, suppose if you have joined us, then you have no problem because I'm giving you all this. But suppose you have not joined the academy, you don't, unfortunately, you don't have that economic dependence. You are not so well off economically. अब क्या करो, एक सेक्शन पे बैठो, उस पर रिसर्च करो, पूरी रिसर्च करो, एक एक वर्ड को पकड़ के उस पर रिसर्च करनी शुरू करो. आई होप everybody is getting my point कि किस तरह तैयारी करनी है. I'll come to the subjects little later. Let me first go to the more important things which everybody skips. वो कौन से मामले हैं? I would first like to talk about 3 papers. You know, in some states, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूपी वगैरह में, जनरल नॉलेज एक पेपर है, एंड एवरीबडी इग्नोर जनरल नॉलेज, और एवरीबडी फील्स हम तो लॉ के स्टूडेंट हैं, हम कौन सा आईएएस के पेपर दे रहे हैं, हमें कहां से जनरल स्टडीज आएगा या जनरल नॉलेज आएगा. नाउ प्लीज रिमेंबर, जनरल नॉलेज इज अ पेपर. और यूपी में या और कई जगह, दिल्ली में कई जगह जहां पे जनरल नॉलेज आता है, नाउ you have to prepare for general knowledge.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.